Now I would like to invite Mr. Semana Jamel, President from Ethio-Canadians for Human Rights. You have the floor for 5 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Ethio-Canadians for Human Rights makes a special reference to human rights violations in the Amhara and Oromia regions. Ethiopia's crisis stems from the 1995 constitution that changed administrative borders from a unified republic to a federation of ethnic regional states drawn on ethnic fault lines. Unlike Canada's democracy, Ethiopia's constitution grants rights to ethnic groups over individual rights. Ethnic federalism is troubled with inconsistencies, as ethnic communities don't live in discrete homelands. Ethnic homelands had endless conflicts among 85 ethnic groups that coexisted for centuries. After 3 decades of experiment of ethnic federalism, Ethiopians were fed up of it. In 2018, Ethiopia and the international community welcomed Prime Minister Abiy with euphoria. Hopes for change and reform were further emboldened when the Prime Minister received the Nobel Prize in 2019. Regrettably, the unfortunate Ethiopians got neither peace and security nor political reform. Between 2018 and 2023, there were 5,000 clashes, indicating 1,060 conflicts a year as reported by BBC, of which 58% happened in the Amhara region alone. Conflicts cripple government functions as 65% of the country is out of regime's hands. Land transport to regional capitals is risky or closed for traffic. Due to the state of emergency, the Amhara region atrocities are committed against Amharas, particularly in schools, churches, and mosques. Drone attacks have been a hallmark of government campaigns. The emergency subjected activists, journalists, and religious leaders to disappearances, executions, and detentions. Amharas who lived in harmony in all parts of the country for centuries are brutally killed, demonized, labeled, and displaced, leading to ethnic cleansing and genocide. Human rights abuses are appalling in the Oromia region, where Amharas are slaughtered like a chicken, as reported by The Guardian. Killings and wanton human rights violations are concocted and acted by government authorities, as chronicled by the U.S. Ethiopia 2023 human rights, often against international humanitarian law and Ethiopian constitution itself. Human Rights Watch reported that National Defense Forces massacred scores of Amhara civilians in the Amhara and Oromia regions in what the European Center for Law and Justice called it the Marawi, Burayo, Shashamane, and Metakal massacres, and so forth. Amhara farmers, the historical breadwinners, are denied fertilizers. It is a means used to starve the people by political fiat. This happens when the United Nations reported over 30 million people are needing urgent food assistance. The intent of genocide is amplified with the government of Ethiopia threatening to slaughter thousands of people overnight and warning its opponents of a consequence deadlier than the Red Terror of the 70s, which the African Union reported over 700,000 killed at the time. The fighting, anarchy, and genocide may soon be internationalized. Cognizant of the dire human rights situation in Ethiopia, we recommend for Canada, a home for over 100,000 Ethio-Canadian taxpayers, to call the government of Ethiopia release Amhara and Oromo parliamentarians arrested unconstitutionally. For example, Christian, Johannes, Taye Denda, and Dr. Kasa, and release all Amhara, Oromo, and all political prisoners, journalists, activists, and opinion leaders, and lift the state of emergency in the Amhara region to establish an all-inclusive transitional government. Stop meddling in religious affairs and guarantee citizens' right to religious freedom. And for Canada, we should unequivocally condemn the government of Ethiopia's despicable killings of rape and marginalization of Amhara women, girls, and mothers. And Canada must immediately work to save lives by providing emergency humanitarian assistance to the Amhara people who suffered more than any other region. Canada that helped Ethiopia...
Can you wrap it up, please? Time is over. Can you wrap it up, please?
Thank you.